All right, so already trading higher here right at the open, filling that new week opening gap right away. Electronic regular trading hours, we're opening up right at the close from last week. So that's good. We do have a lot of low resistance liquidity here from the regular trading session, right? So electronic, you could look at this as well. We have all of this low resistance liquidity that price could be running for, right? So low hanging fruit could be like this high. Now we did have a very small Asia range, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we hit this 4 standard deviation right here, which is in confluence with this high, right? But we'll see here. Let's see what we can get. You got the long right off the open. Nice, bro. Um, awesome, bro. Good work. I'm gonna wait to see some type of structure form here in the first 10 to 15 minutes. See what these candles are telling me, where price wants to go on the eval. Not bad. You only have 450K accounts, bro. You got to get like Eric. Eric's got like 32 accounts, bro. He's got 32 funded accounts right now. He's trading, which is crazy. Or 34 or something like that, right? Eric, what do you have? You have 32, 33, or 34 accounts. I forget what you were telling me on Friday. That's beast, man. That's beast. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to touch on that I kind of like overcame over the weekend is when you're in drawdown, you feel a sense of urgency to press the button again, right? And like it's kind of hard because like I was experiencing this last week and this is why I overtraded like crazy and I got away from my rules is I started going a little bit more in drawdown on my PA accounts and it's like a fear of losing the PA accounts. You don't want to lose the PA accounts, right? And you need to just take a deep breath and like be able to have a mental reset like on the weekend, you know, and realize that drawdown is going to happen, right? But would you recommend purchasing all 10 accounts at once or should I build up gradually? Um, it depends on your confidence, Alex. It depends on your confidence in like your system and how well you've been trading. If you've been building them up like one at a time, right? If you've been building one at a time and you've been doing really well with one at a time, then I would say, you know, go for more, right? If you're consistently getting, if you're passing one at a time the first time, I would say, you know, go for 5. Just stick to your system the same way you would with one. But that's what I did when I was building up my 20p accounts, I would take like one or two at a time, right? One or two, you know, maybe I would fail one, maybe I'd pass one, but when I was consistently passing a couple, then I took like five and then I took 10 and then I got all 20. But before that, you know, there was periods where I would blow 5, 10 at a time, not trading any system or anything. Yeah, Frank, if you have a loss, I mean, it's okay to just like walk away. That's the hardest thing is just realizing, you know, you can literally just come back the next day, man. And last week I did not concede, right, to losses. Yo, we got another Alex up in here. What up, Alex? You're schlong right now? Yeah, Alex, you do really well at practicing patience. I like that. That's good. Two Alexes up in here. What up, brother? How's it going? Yeah, longs look a little juicy here, right? See how this next candle closes. Now, if we close as an indecision candle, it's kind of meh, right? We need to see some type of direction. Yeah, we got CPI tomorrow, which you can kind of treat today like I mean, you're not going to see the cleanest price action before CPI and like NFP, right? So, my voice is so calm. Yeah, man, I'm really chill person in general, so maybe I'm in the wrong business, right? Maybe I should be doing that the TikTok ASMR, right? Totally kidding, but those videos always crack me up, man. Yeah, we got loads of data release this week, so we should see some good volatility in the market. I'm just a little worried, you know, what kind of movement we'll see, right? It might not be in our favor, but so ES and NQ both kind of filling that new week opening gap, right? And now we are trading lower again. Yeah, we're range bound right now. We are definitely range bound, so we need to get some type of direction forming here. Yep. I think everybody needs to be patient right now. Don't force any trades because we are range bound. We're taking both sides of liquidity. Yo, the imposter gif is funny as hell. Oh man. Yeah, you just look at you know, again, regular trading hours, these first two 5 minute candles that are forming just indecision candles, right? We're just consolidating in price. We could see that, you know, clean through 10 a.m. with CPI tomorrow. Might see a lot of chop back and forth and not very good price action for today, but we'll see. We'll see. We do have some clean sell side liquidity down here and these equal lows. This was SMT, right? This was SMT down here with ES. So that's a little interesting, but you know, that move might have already happened, right? From that SMT. We're just coming up to fill this new week opening gap, right? And now we might be seeing a move a little bit down here towards this sell side liquidity, possibly even lower towards this London low. But we need price to start forming some structure here, maybe an order block, a fair value gap, something like this. Not paying too much attention to this 5-minute fair value gap, but you know, that's something you could use if you wanted to. That's your discretion. You know what I mean? I personally, I don't like these fair value gaps in the pre-market, but it's completely up to you and how you trade, you know? Something you can use too as well if you want to get a better idea of what price is doing is just use the line chart, right? You can clearly see a little bit of the higher lows. Now it does go off the close price instead, right? It goes off the close and not the wicks, but you can tell what the bodies of the candles are doing and like what direction price is wanting to go just by looking at, you know, the line chart here. It simplifies it a little bit to be able to tell if you're like, you know, consolidating or, you know, you're actually moving towards a draw. Yeah, so we're getting our first little movement out of this consolidation range, which is nice. Moving towards this pre-market sell side liquidity right here. ATM model, yep. There was a little bit more of an extension past here, right? I guess this would be considered the pre-market since 9:30 was here. So if you were able to get in up here, that was solid. Rich and Sling always talking about that model. Yo, Peter, what's up, man? Your trading views acting up? What's good with it, man? What's up with it? Can't play stops? Damn. What what is your PA accounts? Are they Tradeovate or are they Rhythmic? What up, Peter? Good morning, man. How's it going? You can't play stops. That's really weird. You might need to go in your Tradeovate, like go on the website, go in your add-ons, make sure it's enabled. Re-log in on both. I know sometimes Tradeovate can be weird. It's very frustrating though. Yep, that's the equal lows right here that we got written out as well, Frank. The London low and the equal lows. Looking pretty good to maybe trade down there. Hourly busy. Yeah, I can tell just by looking at this 5-minute time frame that we have somewhat of a gap here, right? So yeah, you go to the 30-minute, there's a 30-minute busy and an hour. A little dangerous trading this level, right? We could have a strong reaction off of this busy, or we could continue down towards this London low. So just need to be patient here and see. Now this was during London, right? This busy. So be interesting to see what happens here. Now this range is only, it's about 200 ticks. It's not bad. It's not bad, right? So 1 hour trade would look something like that if we wanted to target these London lows and this equal low. But I would want to see price make some type of lower high right here and then maybe close below. And this would be considered like a propulsion block, right? Do I always go 1-to-1? No, I try to go for 1-to-2s, but if I get a 1-to-1, what I like to do, Alex, is I like to scale in on my trade and trail my stops. I'm really big on trade management. That was something that I don't really explain in my checklist and my PDF is because it's very discretionary, right? And trade management is a very hard skill to have, right? And it comes with a little bit of experience, and so it's a little touchy feely on that. But yeah, the PDF is just like a baseline. Yo, Rich, you coming up to talk, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what up, man? How's it going?
Hey, I just wanted to say the reason why I took that trade, looked at Friday PM session.
Uh-huh.
We had two fair value gap above, and so I just waited for the on the 1 minute, and then once I saw that, I entered the trade, but I couldn't play stop loss for the whole entire time.
Yeah, you're having to manage it.
But yeah, that's it, man. So made $76, so I'm all right with it.
There you go. Clean, man. Hey, money's money on the PA accounts, right? Yeah, so we might get a fair value gap kind of form in this range, but also need to be careful, right? Because we are rejecting that BISI there. This is why it's good to be patient. If we completely reverse this candle here, right? If we completely engulf this candle in the next minute 20, I would say we're going higher, right? And we're going to start trading towards this low resistance liquidity up here. I'll go ahead and mark this up. Yeah, it's price is going to be like this on pre-CPI, right? It's a Monday pre-CPI. I'm honestly kind of surprised that we are getting this much movement, right, on a Monday and before CPI. It is kind of crazy, actually. So you see we had kind of a 3 minute fair value gap void here. We have two fair value gaps stacked on top of each other. Want to see both of these fair value gaps get disrespected, right? If we wanted to go long here. So I just kind of have both my positions here so I can see what my risk would look like just with one contract. So ES actually completely engulfed that candle, and we do have SMT here, right? So with that, I do think I want to go long here into these highs. So I'm just going to go long with 1 unit, one contract.
Order submitted.
And we're going to target this standard deviation here. So SMT, right here. And we're going to target back to these highs. And I'm just going in with one contract. I'm going in with smaller risk size today. This is only $100 risk, right? And we'd be looking for this 3-minute candle to invert in the next 3 minutes. Right here, we want this to invert. We had one invert. And this 5-minute completely closing back in the range, right? Bro, now it's gonna dump. Now that you put that meme, bro. Oh man, it always does the opposite of what he's saying. I'm the most chill trader. Yeah, man, I just keep it nice and chill, you know. That's how trading kind of needs to be, but I think last week I was a little bit more not emotional, but like I mean, not as poised, I would say. But that's what's good about having 2 days off during the weekend, you know. You can regroup and collect yourself a little bit. So I just want to note, like, back to the line chart, right? You could see structure was kind of formed here. We printed, there's like a high point right here and then a low point. Now, if we start closing back above this high, it's going to be a confirmed market structure change, right? Or change in the state. And basically with the extra tools that we have here, the SMT, right? The SMT with ES and trying to close above these fair value gaps. If I look at the 1 minute, yeah, we completely closed above this fair value gap. This is a V-shaped recovery. So we're kind of building a couple confluences here as to why price could go higher. But this SMT and the manipulation leg was a good sign, right? But let's see if we can completely engulf this 15-minute and start trading back towards these highs. Yeah, I would say the only counter argument to this is the London lows, right? London lows equal lows down there. But yeah, in the next minute 30 or so, want to see price start trading higher. That was amazing reaction off the 1 hour BISI that Frank mentioned there. Completely filled and balanced that price range there. And now we're just trading higher, right? Now, if we close above this high right here, might be able to scale in again. But it would put our stops pretty tight if we scale in this trade one more time. Not sure how I feel about stops being that tight, to be honest. So ES already took the 930 high, right? Looking at NQ here, it's still lagging behind just a little bit. And you can already see that ES is stronger, right? NQ took out the low. ES did not. ES took the high. NQ did not, right? So we just want NQ to follow suit and take out that high. That's all we're kind of looking for. Pretty simple. $30-minute looks like this. Huge liquidity grab off the open. Now that 3-minute did inverse. So let's see if we go back and retest this this fair value gap right here on the 3 minute, or if we leave it as a breakaway gap. Now, if we do retest this 3 minute, it would be a good sign that that we're trading higher and that we could possibly scale in this trade. If we scale in this trade, then we can put our stops below the 3 minute fair value gap retest, right? Which would also be taking out that low on the 5 minute. It would be a protected low, essentially. So let's see what happens here. And then inversely, if we invert fair value gap, that would be a little abnormal, right? But luckily we just have our stops right down below there, so. Yeah, so retesting that 3 minute fair value gap that we mentioned, which is also, you know, we're still trading in that void here. So I wouldn't really call this the inverse because there's two fair value gaps stacked on top of each other. Just look at this as the fair value gap getting retested. Yeah, so this is kind of structure forming on the 5 minute time frame, right? So we're printing a low, and this would be the lower high, lower low. And now if we break back above, we're forming new highs, right? And it's easy to see from the line chart. Low, high, low, high. And if we're wrong, you know, it's all good. Yeah, this 15 minutes a little concerning though, right? Kind of waking up here. Yeah, this price action on ES looks weird though. Look at this. Straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, straight down, straight up. Very weird. All right, so we got this 5 minute closing in a minute. I don't mind seeing this bearish candle here. It's just kind of extra confirmation that we're going higher, right? Just a little bit of consolidation here on the 1 minute. See if we can get this this closure back above this high and continue higher. Do I only check the 5 minute, 1 minute? So I checked the 1 minute like I just did, but last week I got away from my system a little bit and I was trading on the 1 minute, and the 1 minute is just bad for me, man. Personally, like I trade too many setups and get too carried away. And last week I got burned for it. If I just stuck to the 5 minute time frame last week, I would have been hella profitable last week, but I definitely got burned. But that's just me personally and my personality, right? What works best for me, what I have the most success with. And that's what, you know, being a trader is all about, right? Finding what works for you. Because one person's system is not going to work the same for everyone. I know Rich, he finds a lot of success on the 1 minute. Frank, he will dial down to the 1 minute. There's a lot of people here that trade on the 1 minute, but it's all about what works for you, you know. Yeah, I think there's a little bit more confirmation with 5 minute, right? Because on the 1 minute, you can get in really, really early on trades. You know, that's what's nice about the 1 minute, but you could easily get stopped out too. Like you can get faked out. So I think 5 minute gives a little bit more confirmation, but that's just me personally. See, we're like even getting in on this trade is a little early, right? Ideally, if we have bearish candles like this, you would want to be looking for a closure above this series of bearish candles, right? So we have 3 bearish candles here. Want a closure above this range, which would be a true change in the state, right? So we are a little bit early here, but what I'm seeing is the SMT with the fair value gap inverse is kind of giving a little bit of extra proof, I guess you should say, like a little bit of a hint that price might be reversing and taking out this high again. Now, if we didn't have SMT and we had no inversion here, I wouldn't be in on this trade yet. I would not be in on this trade because I would wait for a closure above this series of down close candles, right, before I was long. Inversely, if I wanted to get short at this London low, I would wait until a high was printed and then we closed back down below the low, and then I would get in on the retest. So I'm just trading structure basically, and then adding, you know, ICT concepts, you know, SMT, fair value gaps, order blocks. That's mainly what I pay attention to, right? Everything else, you know, I don't subscribe a lot to like breakers and things like that because all it is just like, you know, fair value gaps or order blocks on another time frame. You know, I try not to get too cute and too complex with it. I just try to keep it simple. All right, let's see if we can get that that closure above. This 3 minute is respecting this fair value gap. Yeah, if we close above here, yeah, stops would basically be the fair value gap. So 10 a.m. candle coming in. That 9 a.m. candle is just kind of indecision, right? So let's look at the 4 hour here. Same thing, indecision. Price doesn't really know what it wants to do on a higher time frame. Respectfully so, because of CPI, right? Tomorrow. Now, if I measure out this range, right? So I'm expecting today's price movement to be anywhere between 500 and 700 ticks, maybe. So we've already moved 550 ticks since the market opened. So I think it's got a little bit more juice in it. Maybe look for around 600 or 700 ticks, which would actually put us, you know, at these highs, honestly, from last PM session. But this is regular trading hours. This is what I'm looking at, just regular trading hours. So we do get that closure above. I kind of like scaling in on this trade, maybe. That would put our stops below this low.
Order filled.
Okay, so scaling in on this trade again, and I'm going to trail my stop up to just below this low. I want this to hold. We've already tapped into this fair value gap and we're creating structure. So I just want to see price flip from this point and trade to these highs. So getting a little bit more risk to reward. And it's actually kind of early. Maybe I should have waited until we close above these candle highs, but we'll see if it plays out here. If not, it's fine. Risk is intact. We're still risking our initial amount, right? So yeah, we're able to squeeze a little bit more risk to reward by scaling in like that. So let's see if we can trade through these highs. Now, if we start breaking this 15-minute high here, I would not want to see price flip, right? I don't want to see this candle flip back bearish because that would be a sign that we're probably trading back down towards this, back down in this busy and maybe going towards the London low. So if we break that high, I just want to see that momentum continue, which is kind of what's happening right now. And again, we just go to the line chart. We're just paying attention to structure, right? So we got a high, a low, a high, a low, and now just looking for another high. Now, if we are breaking through here, I would want this candle to have a little bit more speed, right? I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it like dilly-dally around here. Yeah, coming back in the range a little bit. I don't like how that looks. If we're coming back into the range, it's a possibility we can trade to the opposite side of the range, right? So we got 30 seconds on this 5-minute candle. Yeah, I really don't like how it's just hanging out here at the top. So ES had a little bit of a sell-off here. Kind of the same with NQ, right? Just kind of consolidating here. All right, so getting a little bit more of a push through these highs. Not much though. Not much. Yeah, I don't like how that's rejecting the high, right? I'm just waiting to see if we can get a closure above this high here. If we can get a closure above that high, I would like to go break even. But we'll see. Ooh, look at this 1 minute candle coming in. This 1 minute candle wants blood. Yeah, it's consolidating pretty hard here. Now, when we're in consolidation like this, it is a possibility that this gets ran right in a manipulation leg. So in a trending environment, right, or a trending trade, you would want to see it just break the high. So I think at this point, I don't know, you look at this 5 minute, it's just a liquidity grab, right? This is very interesting price action here, actually. If we're liquidity grabbing, I would assume that we would take out that stop loss, right? So I think we got a little bit lucky there if we do continue to trade higher. I would have expected the stop loss to get hit there if we're trading back down below these lows, right? Because this is kind of clean. This is kind of a clean target. But we might have got lucky there. So we got about a minute left on this candle. If we get a closure above here, going break even is not bad, but it's still kind of in the range, right? It might be able to get tagged unless we retest this area here and then go higher. Yeah, and that's kind of what's happening, right? This was kind of a manipulation liquidity grab. Last week I got stopped out on this the little liquidity grab, right, at break even, but I got the slippage. This week my stop was in a little bit better spot, right? Yeah, I'm just looking at it. I'm not I'm not basing my trade off of it, right? I'm just looking at what it's doing. I'm trying not to find setups on the 1 minute. I'm just looking at it as like confirmation, right? And what the candlesticks are doing. But yeah, I might even be taking my 1 minute off the chart here soon. All right, so we get that change in the state, right? So this is a true change in the state of delivery, right? Because we had a big bearish candle here. And I'm just looking at the bodies, right? I'm just looking at the bodies because the bodies get respected more than anything. And as you can see, like even on the 5 minute here, we start creating structure. We retest back into the bodies of the candle, right? This consolidation area, we're retesting the consolidation, and now we're trading higher. Yeah, Alex, don't at me with the 1 minutes, bro. Trust me, I learned my lesson last week. I learned my lesson. There was a lot of 1 minute setups I took off stream, just like kind of playing around, and just not. It's not good to play around with your PA accounts, right? The 1 minute's just so enticing, right? Because the 1 minute, it kind of seems like free money, right? Easy money, because you see so many setups, but it's not the case, man. The more you're in the market, the more it's gonna burn you. 100%. If you're taking 50 trades a day, I'm telling you, you're not gonna be profitable, man. You're not gonna be profitable. It's too much. It's just too much. I know some people that take like 5 trades a day, you know, scalpers, and they do well. But you know. Yeah, so at this point, I can go break even, right? We're trading through that high. I do not want to see price come back to this point at all. I want to see this high get ran. And yeah, just trading through the new week opening gap now, maybe trading towards some of these highs. But 1 hour candle. Yeah, it looks nice. Looks nice to me. But you know, need to be careful, right? Because we could sweep this high and then just kind of close back in the range because it is pre-CPI, right? So you can't get too excited expecting a huge move on a Monday, especially pre-CPI. Just kind of get what you can out of the market. I just want to see if we run for this high again. We might create a fair value gap here. In the next 11 minutes, there could be a fair value gap to form. Essentially, though, I want to see price run for this high in the next 10 minutes, right before the 10:30 candle. Because when the 10:30 candle comes, say we close right here, then it's a possibility that we come back and we trade back into this candle. But also, it could come all the way back down to break even, right? So there's no telling how far this 30-minute candle can retrace at 10:30. So I just want to see in the next 10 minutes price reach for this high, hit take profit, and then it can do whatever it wants for the rest of the day. I don't care. I'll just be done for the day, right? Pre-CPI Monday. Yeah, so our initial target was already met at 200 ticks. This would basically be the 1-to-1 that we had. But we were able to scale in and get a little bit better risk to reward, and now we're just break even, so risk free, which is nice. This was honestly, I mean, not bad price action, right? In terms of structure, not bad price action at all. But had to be patient, right? Because this was definitely like enticing. You look at this, this was definitely a possibility that we could be trading down towards this London low. But it was just a manipulation. And this is kind of our textbook setup that we like to see at the open, is a manipulation and then higher prices, right? or vice versa, manipulation and lower prices. Because it's basically grabbing the liquidity it needs to go higher. And we just had that big liquidity
Order
spike.
filled.
And there we go. We got our take profit there. Pretty solid trade. And there's the business right there, boys. There is the business. So starting the week off really strong, right?